Hi everyone and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Before we get right to it, I have an announcement. Tomorrow I will be on time, ridiculously on time, super on time, because I'm not working tomorrow. So woo, yay, surprise. So let's get right to it. So on General Hospital today, it is Christmas Eve. So at Ava's, Ava isn't thrilled that Julian is moving in with Alexis, and we learn that he blames himself for Alexis being a drunk, as he so sensitively puts it. So he tells Ava I hear the laughing over there, that's why
I think he said she was a raging drunk.
Well, you know. Tomato.
It's really bad.
So he says that he wanted to change when he was with Alexis, and he wants to give Alexis her life back. So then she's like, did you forget the part where you tried to kill her? And he says that he was never going to go through with killing Alexis. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And then he backs off giving an explanation. But I think this lends, I can't think of the word, but to my theory of that this person was pulling his strings and he never wanted to hurt Alexis or make it appear that he was going to hurt her. So Ava tells him that Alexis doesn't love him and that she's tried to destroy him multiple times and she doesn't want her to hurt him again, and he wants to try to reach her and he can't live with the way things are. So I feel he's being sincere. I do. But, I've not had the best track record when it comes to people, so what are you gonna do? So Ava can't be a part of what he wants, and it's cool, because no one asked you, so bye. At Alexis's, Christina is concerned about Alexis, but she chalks it up to empty nest syndrome, and she offers to stay through the holidays. What is on my shirt? So Alexis says no, you need this time she needs this time for herself to get ready for the hearing and to just, it's been a long year, she's not so much for the holidays. So Alexis wants Christina to spend Christmas with Sunny anyway, because Sunny is really going to need her. So Julian comes over after Christina leaves and he says he wants to help her, and she's like, well then stop blackmailing me, and he's like, no. So she grabs her folder and kicks his leg in the process, but totally on purpose. So she thinks that Paul Hornsby must have drugged her during the trial, and I was like, alright, at least, she's on that train of thought, and, even though it'll never be proven, at least, she knows it in her mind. So I guess I have to, live with that. So she wants her law license back, and if he's there living there, too many there's, she feels that could just blow it all up, and he plans to be there until the healing's done, so no one can know he's there, so no one can come in the house as long as he's there. So let's see how long that'll last, right? So he asks if she can get him an ice pack, because it's going to be a while till he can take his pain medication again. So that's my kind of medicine. I am an expert of getting the ice pack, but I also, hold on, can get a warm compress too. I know, just many traits. So he gets a call, and he says he's been asking questions about the van, but Raj, so that's pawn shop guy's name, convinced him to drop it. And I feel like we've heard that name before now that I'm thinking about it, but I can't place where. And I think he's talking to, the boss guy, this faux Oscar Jessup. So he says the only reason he's doing this, doing what this guy asks, probably with the condo stuff and everything, is for the sake of his children, and Alexis overhears that, because, he lives there now, so he doesn't really have the benefit of privacy. At Kelly's, Kiki runs into Dillon, tries to make small talk, didn't go very well. So they both apologize. Obviously, she starts off, and he says they're good, but they're totally not where they were, and they both know it. So Valerie sits with Dillon. She was just getting to go. It's not like they went there together. And Kiki hears him say how Valerie turned around the worst evening of his life, and the night they spent together was great, but I don't think it means what Kiki thinks it means. So Kiki rushes out because she thinks she's totally lost Dillon. But Dillon is talking to Valerie about Kiki and how happy he is at first to see her, but then, he thinks about how bad it is between them, and he thinks about giving up because, if Kiki already thinks he's manipulative, he feels if he makes any more grand gestures or any gestures, she's going to think he's just being manipulative, you know? So then they commiserate about their breakups and, you know, how they always want people they can't have. At the studio, Elizabeth is calling Franco, but he can't get out of the cage because he's not doing just fine. Gotta be damned because I want it all. I can't stop, guys. You say getting out of the cage and it's just, the song follows. Like, you know, if you haven't heard Mr. Brightside in more than a week, because I know you've all heard that song, you need to listen to it right now because it's just in my head on repeat for like the past week. But he finally manages to bust out the top of the cage. So Franco's coming out of his cage and he's been doing just fine. Oh my goodness, I have a problem. So at General Hospital, Finn and Hayden are, well, you know, she's still recovering and he's by her bedside. Her fever is lowering but fluctuating, so it's like kind of going back and forth. Tracy brought the cactus that I think Finn gave Hayden, so that Hayden will wake up with some kind of tree since it's the holidays, and that's just adorable, the Christmas cactus. So Elizabeth is leaving a message for Franco. That's when she was calling before in the studio. Some of this timeline gets a little, you know. So Naomi arrives. Once the feds got their diamonds back, they didn't really care about her, so her attorney was able to like work something out and they commuted her sentence. And she's very that's totally out of order. Anyway, so Franco calls Elizabeth. They're still on for tonight, but he has to find Tom. So Naomi doesn't want Finn anywhere near Hayden, especially when she's told that lizard DNA is like the secret ingredient to this whole cure. And Tracy's like, no, like he has to be the one to treat her. You leave if you're not okay with it. And Naomi wants to make all the decisions now because she's Hayden's mother and she wants to take Hayden away to New York City and have Finn arrested. I'm like, don't make everyone regret, or don't make Elizabeth regret calling you, okay? Like, seriously, calm down. So Hayden starts to wake up because she doesn't want Finn to leave, and she has woken herself out of this feverish sleep so that, you know, she can say that. That's how much Finn means to her. So she's stabilized, but not totally out of the woods yet. They still need to run a few more tests, and Naomi tells Hayden that Elizabeth called her, and Hayden actually thanks Elizabeth, so the world might be ending a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these bags today. This is just a mess. So the tests come back on Hayden, and she's going to be okay. One second, I got to figure. So Hayden's blood tests come back super fast, and it turns out she's going to be okay, and Naomi apologizes to Finn after some prompting from Tracy. So Hayden has to rest now, so everybody out. Back at the studio, Franco calls the someone in the parole office, maybe, posing as an Uber driver who was supposed to drive Tom Baker there, but he never showed up for his ride, and I don't know, something, but turns out that Tom never showed up for his meeting. So Franco calls Kiki to check in, and she's crying a little bit because of Dillon, and she's heading to Ava's, and he doesn't warn her about Tom, like, so just putting that out there, but I don't think anything's going to happen of that. You'll see. So back at Ava's, Kiki comes over and brought the food. Kiki wants to even come over tomorrow for Christmas, even though she wasn't originally planning to. So Ava was actually planning to go see Delia in New York City and invites Kiki to come along, but she's not super in the holiday spirit and doesn't really want to go. But I was just in New York City, and let me tell you, you look at a big tree, and you're just like in the city at the holiday time, and like, I don't know, it just, you know. And plus, she could play Pokemon if she's super not into it anyway. So, I mean, I got the best of both worlds because I explored everything and I played Pokemon, so there you go. Cassie put up a video when we went to New York City. If you, should be her blog for the 3rd. Anyway, so she thinks Dillon has already moved on and that he's, like, sleeping with Valerie. So at the Darkham Asylum, Franco visits Heather, and Heather thinks Elizabeth sent him. No, he didn't even know Elizabeth talked to Heather. So he tells her what happened with Tom, and she thinks his true self is coming out, which is totally what he wants to hear, right? But he's focused on who Tom's going to target next. So he says his mind is clear for the first time, and he wants to tell the world he's changed, and he wants to confess what he did to Elizabeth. And Heather's like, you don't want to do that. And Franco's like, I think Elizabeth will understand. And I'm sitting here like, no, don't do that. Like, oh my goodness, it's that's a bad idea. I can tell you that from a mile away. So now end scene, I know. So Ava doesn't want Kiki to leave on Christmas now, and I don't know. What did I write? She wants her to go to the city with her, and Kiki's like, I'm not into it, and she's like, well, the invitation's open, like, feel free. Valerie says as long as Dylan and Kiki are in the same social circles, like, they're gonna keep running into each other, and Dylan seems to be planning to go somewhere else, and so does Kiki, so could we get a little Christmas magic here? Maybe. That's what I'm hoping. Because I was going... Okay, I'll tell you in like a second when I'm done. Okay, so Finn decorated the cactus. And this is maybe Hayden's best Christmas ever. And he's like, okay, maybe. Like, you survived an incurable disease that now there's a cure to. You had a truce with your sister. You brought Tracy to tears. And your mother was released from the federal penitentiary. Like, maybe this is the best Christmas ever? And it turns out he's probably going to be okay too once he gives himself this cure. And Franco seems to be setting up to confess to Elizabeth, and Alexis asks Julian who he was talking to on the phone, and he's like, and we're all sitting here like, really? Really now? Okay, my little thing is when Franco called Kiki to check in, I thought they were going to have maybe Tom go after Kiki instead of Elizabeth, as, like, it looks to, and then, like, Kiki would be in peril or whatever, and, that would kind of bring her and Dylan together, but I much like this more positive spin they seem to be going to, where they're both going to be in the city and maybe run into each other, and, she needs to, like, step up and say how she feels if this is going to work, because he doesn't want to step over her boundaries, which is, like, great, good guy Dylan. You know how I feel. I love Dylan. We had problems last year, but we're good now. So thank you so much for watching today's recap. Yes, tomorrow. Oh, 1 second. Tomorrow will be on time, so this is the official end of recap. If you haven't heard my announcement about what we're going to be doing next year, you can stay for that now. It's this thing. But if you've already heard this a million times, then I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. So, next year, I want to do a little, it's not really like a pool, but you'll see. So, basically guessing what date that you think big things on General Hospital are going to happen, like what day the whole Nell and Suddy thing's going to come out, or when Sam's baby's going to be born, or even just like the next betrayal, the next baby announcement, the next proposal, like stuff like that. Maybe when Charlotte's custody is settled, like, all those things. So what date you think that's going to happen, and then I'll put your username and what you think, on that date, and then whoever's the closest, I don't know, wins, a round of applause. But I think it would just be something really fun to do, because we see themes that repeat every year, and, just a way to make of something, fun out of that. So we already have a few things that I'm going to be putting on this calendar, probably in like 5 minutes when I get up. And so I hope you think that's fun and want to participate in that. I'm, taking things, I'll have like maybe a list of things I'm making a list of things, preemptive list of things that we can, put in here. But in any event, so think about that, and I will see you tomorrow from General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!